Hello, empaths. My name is Eileen. I'm an intuitive empath and way shower. I'm also an intuitive spiritual therapist. Today is Sunday, September 19th, 2021, and this is your weekly encouragement and tips for the Empath Collective. The information that I share may be helpful for anyone who considers themselves to be an energy sensitive person, but it is mostly designed to help people who identify as empaths and who are in direct service to the planet, emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, energetically, and who recognize that their journey as an energy sensitive person has all led them to this space of understanding that they are actually here to use their creative genius, their intelligence, their gifts, their talents, their creativity to help the planet be better as opposed to undermining the planet. So thank you, empaths, for your service work. Thank you so much for being a light in what can at times be a very dark and chaotic world. So thank you. I want to talk about self-care as a strategy for staying grounded, as well as how to use the chaos around you in your environment to harness that as fuel. So rather than being drained by the chaotic energies, learning to harness that energy and use it actually as fuel to create those things that feel aligned for you. And then the last thing is just, I want to encourage all of you to remember who you are in the face of adversity. So let's start with self-care as a strategy for staying grounded. When we talk about self-care, I've given tips before: being in nature, doing something creative, remaining authentic, having aligned people in your life that get you and have the ability to witness you, and then of course some type of spiritual meditative practice as your self-care. All of those things are essential for remaining grounded and connected and purging heavy energy and letting go of what no longer serves. But in addition to those things, recognizing that in any given moment and any given situation, when you feel dysregulated or discouraged or whatever, taken for granted or rejected or abandoned or whatever emotional intensity comes up in the moment. For empaths, it tends to be anxiety, depression, stress, panic, because we're absorbing the energy around us, the people, the animals, the environment, right? The community that we live in, we absorb that energy. And if we're not careful, it can get stuck. It can get lodged in our mindset, in our nervous system, and our cells. At the cellular level, we can feel the emotional intensity. So learning to maintain really solid self-care as strategy for remaining grounded, like recognizing that self-care is not an option. It's something that we empaths need to employ regularly in our lives, every day. Actually, maybe moment by moment, we should be practicing self-care. So for example, I'm a licensed therapist, and for years now, in between each and every session, I cut and dissolve cords. I clear the energy between myself and the client that I just worked with before I go into the next session. And I tend to be back to back with clients every day, all day. So I don't have a lot of time. It's not like I can just go and do a whole, meditation in between each client. Or sometimes I can sage or use my Palo Santo. I definitely keep all those things. I have, sound, music, singing bowls and incense. And I definitely will do that, especially if I'm working with very intense energies. But sometimes I don't have a lot of time. So I definitely just dissolve the cords, in love and light. I release and dissolve the cords that connect me and bind me to the energy of that previous person. In love and light, I release them. I ask them to, that energy to release me, for them to be free, and I let it go. And so it's really quick, just takes a few seconds, but releasing the energy is really good self-care. And I do that every day in between every single session. I also call in I honor my ancestors. I honor the first peoples of the land where I live. I bring in angels, and, God consciousness and everything that resonates with me, I bring in as a way of helping me and supporting me in the work that I'm doing to help people. So I encourage you to find whatever self-care practices work for you and be consistent and, I guess, to some degree religious about it, so that you feel grounded. And and when you're practicing self-care, and this can be really hard for empaths because it's actually an act of self-love where you're actually making things about you and not other people, and that can be really hard for empaths because we tend to give more than we take. And, that's just kind of our nature. And so, it might be a little bit odd and different to radically practice self-care, but I encourage it because not only will you remain grounded and free from heavy baggage that is not yours, that you're not required to take on, you will also be of more service to the world. You'll be able to help more because of what, you are doing for yourself. So give to you, nourish you, love you, honor you, so that you can give back to others. Okay. How do you use the chaos around you as fuel? So it feels like everything around you is intense. People are arguing or fighting, or they're, caught up in the 3D world and experiencing world through maybe a very linear lens, not looking at the unlimited possibilities, not really understanding that there's an infinite amount of possibilities that we can dial into at any given moment. How do you use that to your advantage? See yourself as the magical human that you are. Our brains are incredible. These brains that we have, we can reset like that in any given moment. You can be thinking one way, and if you choose, you can realign, you can recode, you can restructure, you can reset like that with a new thought. With an activated new thought, it creates new strategy, new paradigms, new neural paths. So if you can moment to moment view yourself as a profound being who has chosen to use all your gifts, talents, genius to help the planet, and you have a brain that makes you magical, because the moment you focus it the right way, you have laser grip control, laser sharp focus, iron grip control on any given situation, and you can use your thoughts to create magic. Now we're using the brain, right? We're using the brain, and we're just creating new neural paths. There's going to be a biochemical response, cellular changes associated with those new thoughts, but the experience that you shift so quickly will feel magical. See yourself as that person, your vortexing energy that has the ability to shift. Okay, so when you come on the scene, empath, the energy there's the potential for the energy to shift completely, just by your presence, just by your intention, just by your choice to transmute this chaos into something that is lighter, something that is a higher vibration. You can do that with your thoughts, with your meditation, with your focus, with your intention, and of course, your high vibration. Okay? So I want to encourage you, we'll be talking about this more. How do I vortex energy? What does that mean? How do I even shift energy? And I'll be sharing more on that with these weekly encouragement tips. But I just want you to remember you are powerful. You're very, very magical. You think differently than the mass consciousness. You are here to serve and help the planet. That intention is a higher vibration than someone who's here to take and use and manipulate, or who's all about me, 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 me. The fact that you are about the planet and the well-being of consciousness already sets you at a higher place. You're in a completely different dimension as far as intention goes. Use that to your advantage. Know that you are powerful. Know that you are strong. Know that with one thought and words and intention and meditation and dedication and consistency, you can vortex and shift chaotic energy around you, chaotic energy inside of you, and you can shift that energy and create a clean slate. And in the clean slate, you can begin to activate new. And this is how we begin to create, new paradigms. So hopefully that encourages you and is helpful. And like I said, I'll be sharing more in terms of how you do that. And then remembering who you are in the face of adversity. There are going to be people who don't understand the empath heart, the empath way of thinking, the empath way of integrating or interpreting. You are going to often go into hermit mode and need time alone and need time to reset. You might isolate at times. You might be a little bit of a mystery. There may be times when you're extroverted and other times when you're introverted because you're more of an ambivert. You're both energies, but when it's time to reset and recode, you need that isolative time. Some people may not understand that. And so in the face of criticism or adversity or, people can be kind of cruel and mean to empaths because we're different. We move through the world very different. We have quirky ways and we have different perspectives and we kind of move through the world, it's a more angelic, fairy kind of energy. Those of us that are healthy and those of us that are working on healing our shadows and integrating our shadows with our light, those of us that are dedicated to being the best version of ourselves, we don't see the world through a linear lens, and we're always looking at the greater potentials. We can visualize that in our third eye and in our mind's eye, and this can be super foreign and weird and maybe uncomfortable, a little bit scary, magical thinking. Some people think it's magical thinking. We're actually just very aligned, mind, body, spirit, energy. We're very congruent. We remember as souls why we came. And so therefore we always kind of keep at the forefront of our mind the goal, the long-term goal, not what's happening right here in the moment, but what is the bigger picture here, what is available for consciousness to ascend and heal and be better, what's available for humanity to learn how to work together in harmony and be better versions of themselves individually and collectively. So remember that as an empath, you have the ability to activate new. You have the ability to vortex the situation. You have the ability to shift chaos into a more peaceful, aligned experience. You're very powerful, more powerful than you can imagine. All beings on the planet have the ability to use their brains as like radio transmitters to create something powerful and new paradigms. But the empath, because of our energy sensitivity, as well as our commitment to helping the planet be better, once you realize that, once you accept the fact that you have these, I guess you want to call them superpowers, but really what it is just congruence between spirit, soul, energy, mind, body, everything is aligned with the soul plan and, what God, divine, universe, nature, creation would want to accomplish through you as a beautiful vessel and instrument and channel, because you're aware of that and you're aligned with that and you recognize that our brains are like a radio transmitter, and you can actually create vibration and frequency with thoughts and intentions, because that's who you are, because that's the way you move through the world. You have the ability to single-handedly change your corner of the world. Your community can be different just because of who you are and how you choose to show up. Never, ever forget that. Never, ever, ever forget how powerful you are, how beautiful you are. What a gift. Your light shines so brightly. And I'm so honored to be able to connect with so many other empaths, light workers, star seeds, way showers, people who know that they are here to use their power for good. So I hope this encourages you. I am available if you would like to reach me at empathhearthealing at Gmail, empathhearthealing@gmail.com. Feel free to email, and also feel free to check out the website, www.empathhearthealing.com. And you can also check me out on Instagram, empath_heart_healing. And I look forward to seeing you again. See you next week. Have a very, very blessed week. March. My birthday's in March. I think we have this Pisces full moon in like 2 days. So I think I'm thinking all things Pisces, all things in the month of March. Anyway, happy September 19th through September 25th. I'll see you next week. Be blessed.